A lot of people are going to tell you that jealousy is a sign of love. I'm not one of those people. Jealousy is the absence of security in your relationship. The ineffectiveness and lapses of so many relationships have caused women to behave irrationally. But think about this. When a woman is secure, it is like the soil beneath her feet is steady. She can love, she can give, and she can grow more freely. In today's video, I want us to look at 5 ways a woman can cultivate a sense of security for herself and her relationship as a whole. But before we get started, very quickly, I am Emmanuel Smarth and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I provide relationship advice for women. If that sounds like something that is interesting to you, then kindly consider being a member of this community by liking, subscribing, but most importantly, participating in the comment section. Now, let's begin. The first way a woman can cultivate a sense of security is by knowing her worth. Think about this. One of the most powerful things that a woman can have is knowing and understanding her self-worth. She does not need any validation from any man. Sadly, a lot of women desperately seek validation from the men in their life. Let me be clear. When I say knowing your self-worth, I'm talking about respecting yourself enough to the point that you do not allow your relationship turn you into something that is unrecognizable. When I say knowing your self-worth, I'm talking about a woman that looks at a man and say to him, listen, my heart is not a toy. My life is not a game. Any manipulation, deceit, lies will not be tolerated. As a matter of fact, they will lead to the immediate termination of our relationship. When you understand your true value and you know your self-worth, it builds a security for your heart, and as such, you push away any immature or childish men. So if you want to develop a sense of security, you have to first know your self-worth. Another way a woman can cultivate a sense of security is by challenging negative thoughts. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It is very easy to give into the temptation of looking at things from a very negative point of view. But you have to remember, there are always 2 sides to a coin. Let me make this example. So let's say you're a woman and you have a guy that you're dating and you love him so dearly. You decide to give him a call at the time you think he's less busy, and this is the time that you usually call him. So you try calling him. As a matter of fact, you're calling him, but the more you keep calling him, he is not reachable. He's not answering his call. He's not even texting back to let you know why he's not answering his call. The first thought that comes through your mind is, why is he not answering my call? Is he with another woman? And that is a fair assumption to make. But you have to remember, there is always 2 sides. So the second thought that should come to your mind, and this is where a lot of women fall off, is maybe he's busy. Maybe something has come up. Maybe I'm just going to leave a message by saying, hey there, I've been trying to get in touch with you. Please contact me the moment you see my message or my missed calls. This is something that a lot of women tend not to do. And that is what I want you to challenge. I want you to challenge that negative thought out of your head. Because think about this. If a man wants to cheat on you, it doesn't matter how many times you call him. It doesn't matter how jealous you are. He's still going to cheat on you. But to prevent you from acting in irrational manner, from being physical, from acting like a person that is delusional, from losing yourself and losing your true identity, you have to be secure. And to be secure is to embrace positivity, not because you think your man is perfect, but because you want to protect your heart. You want to protect who you truly are. So I will say this to you: challenge your negative thoughts, replace them with something much more positive. That way, there's no room for jealousy. Moving on. Another thing that I believe a woman can do that will help her to build a sense of security is to show her vulnerable side. I know a lot of people say vulnerability or being vulnerable is a sign of weakness. In some instances, it is true. but your vulnerable side can also be your source of strength. Let me explain. A few weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine and I asked him, what does love means to you? His response was, love is me being vulnerable with a woman. I have to be vulnerable with her. Love is about pain. Love is about hurt. And for a moment, I thought about it. I was like, okay, this is interesting. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized what he was talking about. If you love someone, you wanted to know who you are. And in order for someone to know who you truly are, you have to be vulnerable with them. So as a woman, if you notice that your man is talking to another lady and it bothers you. If you notice that someone is calling your man during odd hours of the night, it bothers you. What you don't want to do is to start sneaking and start eavesdropping on this conversation. What you need to do is to just sit him down and talk to him and let him know that every time this person calls you during this odd hour of the night, it bothers me. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough. It makes me feel like you're cheating on me. By being vulnerable with your partner, what you're essentially doing is that you're letting them know that you are a human being. You have feelings. You're not a rock. You don't have to pretend to be strong. It is okay to let your partner see you for who you truly are. If your partner loves you and value you, he's going to take away that spirit or that essence of insecurity that is creeping around in your relationship. So to build a sense of security is to let your partner see you when you are vulnerable. It just shows that you're a human being. It just shows that you have feelings. You don't have to be rigid. That is something I want you to think about. I want you to think back to the time you first started dating, the man you were with. It was fun. The good old times. You guys were going on dates. There was so much passion. There was so much love and everything was beautiful. I'm assuming. It will get to a certain point in your relationship where the spark will start to disappear. And it is very easy for you to assume that your partner no longer loves you. This brings me to another point that I want to make in this video. That is, ask for reassurance. There is absolutely nothing wrong with talking to your man and asking him, are we still in this relationship together? Because I feel like you're so busy with work. You're so caught up in your personal project that you don't have time for me. And I feel like there is no time for our relationship. Ask your partner to reassure you, because sometimes it could just be work. Sometimes it doesn't mean that just because there's no time or you two are not doing the things that you used to do when you first started dating, that doesn't mean that your partner is cheating on you. It just means that life happens. So every now and then, seek or ask your partner to reassure you, so at least you can understand or you can know for a fact that you are still in this relationship. Seek reassurance. That's another way that you can build a sense of security. And the last thing that I want to touch in this video is this. Trust, but don't ignore the red flags. Now, oftentimes people have this backwards. There's some people that don't trust. They're always looking for reasons to just pounce on their partner. And I owe this to the fact that a lot of people have gone through terrible relationships in the past. So sometimes they bring along those bad experiences, those negative experiences from their previous relationship into their new one. And that can become very problematic. Even in our justice system, it says everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So you should apply the same approach in your relationship. When you meet a man, trust him until he gives you reasons to start doubting him. That is why I believe that you should trust, but don't ignore the red flags. Let me give you guys a very quick example. When I was much younger, probably 13 years old, which is, now that I think about it, I was a little too young to be in love. All right, so I was with this lady, and up to this day, we're still great friends, and she was good. But then I noticed that there was another guy who had money, who was driving different cars, Range Rover and all the other fancy cars, coming to her place and then taking her out, and they were having fun. Now, it was very confusing because when I confronted her, she told me that, no, I'm not interested in this guy. We're just hanging out as friends. But then the things that she say to me and her action, the way I see she's very happy, very excited around this guy, the way they go out, what they are doing, it tells me something different. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you have to pay attention to inconsistency. If you have a man that says one thing and then does another thing, don't ignore those red flags. So in every relationship, you can trust, but keep your eyes open. This is better. When you observe or notice that your man is not being honest with you, confront him and talk to him. Don't ever allow that spirit of jealousy, which breeds insecurity, which brings about this complex feeling where you lose control of yourself and then start acting irrationally. Don't ever allow that feeling to take over you. You want to confront a man that is lying to you. You want to confront a man that is not honest with you. If it's not, leave the relationship. It is better. When you have a partner that loves you, they will never put you through that. They will never make you feel insecure. They will never make you feel jealous. As a matter of fact, I would think cheating is a sign of jealousy, or probably jealousy is a byproduct of cheating. So don't ever let another person tell you that jealousy is a sign of love. No, it is not. It is the beginning of toxicity, and you don't want that in your relationship. So let me summarize this very quickly. As a woman, if you want to cultivate a sense of security, you have to know your self-worth. It's very important. You have to challenge negative thoughts. You have to show your vulnerable side. You have to let your partner reassure you, seek reassurance. And most importantly, you have to trust, but never ignore the red flags. Look at me saying flags. Never ignore the red flags. So I'm going to stop here, but I really hope you gain something valuable from this video. I would love to hear your opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Until then, guys, I'll see you in the next video.